But with Coverage X, no more ridiculous repair bills. Transmission, engine, electronics, Coverage X's vehicle protection plan has you covered with budget-friendly, flexible month-to-month plans. Call 800-875-9695 or CoverageX.com. With Coverage X, unavoidable, unaffordable car repair bills are covered. Visit CoverageX.com or 800-875-9695. 800-875-9695.
WNSR.
As the weather gets colder, the NFL offers Stay Hot on FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. I like putting parlay bets together, hammering the overs, and anytime player touchdown bets always have me on the edge of my seat. So if you're ready to do the same, visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in Kentucky. First online real money wager, only $5 pregame money line wager required. First online real money wager, only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Listen, you can't handle the truth.
It's about to go off.
Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios.
Just a bit outside.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call or text now. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Call us or send us a text on the WNSR text line. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600. Call or text. Same number.
Alrighty then.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
And a good Tuesday afternoon to you, and welcome into the McFarland Show. Darren and Justin here with you for the next 2 hours. Hope everybody's having a good day so far. We are live in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. DJ Damon is alongside for the ride. Getting a little bit closer every day to Super Bowl 58.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City and San Francisco, a little rematch from 4 years ago.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a rematch, but it is. It feels like that game was 10 years ago. I don't know about you.
I know. It really doesn't feel fresh at all.
No. It feels like that game was a long time ago, and it really wasn't. So this is going to be a little different. But every day, more things happen out there in Vegas. So interesting to hear and see.
No doubt about it. By the way, I don't know if you saw this. Shane Bowen.
Yes.
Named the new defensive coordinator for the New York Giants.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not the only one on the move. Didn't Tim Kelly? Tim Kelly got a job as well, and it wasn't also with the Giants. Who did he end up with?
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Oh, Tim Kelly.
Is he the OC somewhere?
No. He got hired as a tight end coach.
Okay. I'd be surprised.
With someone here. I'll find it here. I had it just a second ago. So, but yeah, he's got a job as well. Tim Kelly's got a job as well. So a lot going on there. So, and we're going to get into all of that here.
Along those lines, by the way.
Yeah.
Mike Vrabel. It was something that came out yesterday after the show. And we've got some audio on it. And this is Diana Rossini, right? I think this is an Athletic podcast.
Yeah. Well, it's on Apple. Yes, it's The Athletic.
Okay.
Who's putting this out. And Diana Rossini had a lot to say about why Mike Vrabel does not have a job in the NFL. Of course, we know he had several openings. He interviewed with several teams and ended up with nothing. So here's Diana Rossini with one of the reasons why Mike Vrabel does not have a job.
I don't think that there was a fit for him. I don't think he sat in front of any owner who thought that his style was going to work for what they were looking for. Do you know I had a GM at the Senior Bowl who mentioned to me Vrabel's physical build, that he's a very large human being and can be very intimidating to people in an organization that are going to be part of these decisions. And that is a factor, which I laughed. I said, stop, that's not something that's real. Who cares what someone physically looks like? And He said, I'm just telling you, I've been in rooms and somebody's physical presence can make a difference.
All right. So physical presence making a difference.
Okay.
There.
So let me give you my translation.
Translation on that?
Yeah, because we like to translate on the show.
Yes, we do.
In other words, we keep it real and try to explain to you what that really meant.
You go
This
ahead.
is my opinion.
Yes, sir.
You tell me if you agree or disagree.
Okay.
This is not about his stature. It's not about him being a large man. By the way,
that's what Diana Rossini said.
The last time I checked, this is the NFL.
Yes.
They're surrounded by large human beings.
In the building every day.
And he is not the first coach, as we've talked about,
no,
that played in the NFL.
No.
Antonio Pierce is the Raiders coach. He played in the NFL.
Not as big as Mike Vrabel, though.
Okay. He's a pretty big guy, though.
He is a big guy.
He's not a horse jockey.
No, he's not.
Dan Campbell is a large human being.
He is.
He was a tight end.
He is.
He's a big man.
He is.
Okay. And let me see. I'm trying to think. Look, they're not all built like, I was going to say Mike McDonald. Mike.
Well, Mike McDonald.
Dolphins.
McDaniel. But Mike McDonald might be a small guy as well. We don't know.
He is a horse jockey.
Yeah, well, he's a smaller person. I'm not going to call him that.
Well,
he's a smaller
125 pounds soaking wet.
Okay, but it's
he's
sure.
Tiny.
Sure.
He probably wears youth clothes.
If you say so. I'm not saying all that.
He's
I'm not
little.
going there. I'm not. That's too
the
far
NFL.
for me. That's Darren going over there. I'm saying over here.
That's not what she's saying. Because remember, she's quoting. Well, she's not quoting. She's stating that the source is a general man. Did she say current, former, or did she just say?
No, she said current. She said a current general manager at the Senior Bowl.
My first thought is that John Robinson she was
No, I don't
to?
think
But he's
she
not
might
current.
be. She's not a current general. He's not a current
said
general.
current, so I don't know.
What
she's saying is more about the makeup, his personality. He's a large human being and a person that can be, well, she said intimidating, right?
She did.
Because he's a guy that likes to do things his way.
Yes.
Okay, so it's really more about his personality to me. Yes, his personality in a big body. Okay, he is an intimidating person. He is a big human being.
He's a big man.
But
he's
it's really
6'4".
It's really more about his personality, his demeanor.
But aren't there other NFL quarterbacks that are big? I mean,
quarterbacks
or NFL players, coaches that
man.
are big too, like Andy Reid.
Yeah, well, Andy Reid. I just started going to
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid is a big man.
I think they're talking a different kind of big.
Yeah, I mean, Dan Campbell's more of the intimidating.
Yeah,
imposing guy.
It's different. Yeah,
but here's
well,
the deal.
You're a big man yourself. Dan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a horse jockey either.
No.
They would not welcome me in the horse community.
It doesn't sound like you'd be welcomed as an NFL GM right now either. Apparently,
so. If I got on the horse, you'd be like, "What are you doing, man? We're not racing with you on my back. Get down. Get the little fella back up there.
Get down.
Okay, get off of me. I don't want you on my horse.
Yeah.
Okay, the horse is like, I don't want you on me.
Dan Campbell's 6'5", by the way.
6'5".
Yeah.
Is that little?
No,
it's not little.
No,
he's a warm and huggable guy.
That's NBA size.
That is the point.
Yeah,
that's the difference. You don't think that when you think of Dan Campbell.
No.
Why?
Because his arms are so big and he's so lovable.
He's warm and lovable.
Well, he did say he would bite. He said they would bite kneecaps.
When he's biting off people's kneecaps.
Yeah, so he's
walking around with a grit T-shirt. He's warm and lovable.
Really
hashtag grit. Drink. He's wearing a shirt that's showing off all his physique. That's warm and lovable. Dan Campbell.
I think the thing with Vrabel is when he's out there practicing with them and he's intimidating them. That's probably what they meant.
I think it's more. Yes, it's more about. I think. The demeanor. Look, we've talked about it. Mike Vrabel can come off very smug. I'm better than you. I'm smarter than you. Dan Campbell doesn't portray. Dan Campbell Look, that's why I think he's been a hit in Detroit. I think he can relate to everyday person, right?
He fits.
He can relate to the Lions fan base.
Oh yeah, he fits the city now.
Yeah, he looks like a blue collar guy.
Yeah,
right. He acts like a blue-collar guy.
I would agree.
He acts like their team is a blue-collar team. That is relatable in Detroit. Mike Vrabel doesn't get off that. He doesn't give that vibe off. That's what I took from it, Justin.
Okay.
It's not about oh my gosh, he's so big and intimidating. Well, he is, but I think it was more about you get in a room with Mike Vrabel. He's very headstrong.
Mm-hmm.
He's very opinionated, and he wants to do things his way. That's what it felt like to me. What about you?
It felt like she was low key on the low, trying to be polite, saying that she was getting the impression that Mike Vrabel was a bully. That's what I took from it. That Mike Vrabel was a bit of a bully in whatever setting that he was in. And perhaps because he was a larger person, that he uses his size perhaps in a way that may feel like an intimidating, bullying type of style to other people. And maybe that was a turnoff for some NFL teams at this particular point. I don't buy into that myself. It's not like Mike Vrabel was going to hold a room hostage.
Yeah.
I mean, what were you going to do if Mike Vrabel disagreed with what you wanted to do? What was he going to do? Pick up a chair and throw it at you? Was he going to body slam you? Was he going to throw somebody out of a window?
Rip his shirt off and want to fight you?
What was going to happen? What was going to happen?
Remember when Ed Orgeron did that as the Ole Miss coach?
I do.
Remember when he literally got sworn in his first talk
yes.
with the team as he ripped his shirt off?
Yes.
And was like, who wants a piece of me?
But but all that was just for show. I'm just saying, we get in the room. Let's say, we've talked about this before. The classic, the classic debate about whether or not they should take Zay Flowers or take Peter Skoronsky. So let's just say that, Vrabel really wanted Peter Skoronsky and Rand Carthen really wanted Zay Flowers. Are you telling me that Mike Vrabel got his way because Mike Vrabel's larger than Rand Carthen? Is that what we're talking about?
By the way, Rand Carthen is also not a horse jockey.
Former NFL
He's a
player,
big man,
an SEC running back in his own right.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, not didn't do as well in the NFL as Mike Vrabel, but that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Rand Carthen ran 2 years at Florida, okay? He played against the big boys of the SEC. He shared a huddle with Peyton Manning for the Indianapolis Colts. He has game experience, okay? He's played against guys Mike Vrabel's size. He ain't scared of Mike Vrabel, not like that. So what's going to happen? We get in the room, we're talking. Mike Vrabel says, I want Peter Skoronsky. Rand Carthen goes, I want Zay Flowers. You're telling me that Mike Vrabel won that battle based on the fact he's 6'4"?
Maybe they arm wrestled.
I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. I'm just saying that I find that to be a little far-fetched.
Don't you think it is such a weird conversation to put out there? Like Diana Rossini is, coming from a national platform. She is a very, very recognizable media member.
Sure.
Don't you think that is such a strange thing to put out there as news?
No, not
why?
Not in our current climate. No, because ultimately Diana Rossini, and listen, this
look, I know what she's going to say. I'm just reporting what was told to me.
She's reporting, but she's told a lot of things and doesn't have to. And she does not report everything that she's told her. No journalist does. I'm a journalist. I've been a journalist 25 years. I do not report everything told to me. We don't. Darren's been in this game a long time. Even though Darren doesn't label himself as a journalist per se, Darren is told a lot of stuff and he doesn't report everything he's told. No journalist reports everything they're told. So the question is, what's going to happen? What's going to happen when you're told something and how you decide what it is you want to let out? Well, you may want to let something out because you think it may be attractive on something like, I don't know, the internet or Twitter or social media or some other thing. Maybe you let some certain things out that you think may gain some clicks.
Well, it
that
did.
May get shared
and
on shows like ours and dozens of others across the country in the Super Bowl week as well. And everybody's wondering why Mike Vrabel doesn't have a job. And here's a unique twist that somebody told me that I don't have to take credit for myself. Here's a unique twist that I don't have to lay claim for. Somebody told me this and I can just lay this out there. That's it. I don't know. So you ask, why would somebody do this? Well, I can think of, I don't know. I have to go back and look at the video. I don't know how many views it's got, but however many views it's got, those are many views why this may not be a thing or may be a thing.
We recognized it yesterday, and because it happened like right after our show. So we were already discussing it off the air after the show. So in this market, you can imagine it would have legs. But guess what? Today I turn on Pat McAfee.
Hey, how about that?
Guess what he's talking about?
Hey, how about that?
It's Super Bowl week. It's Radio Row. There's thousands of media members.
And the game is still days away.
Yeah. It's
Tuesday. Not like the game is tomorrow.
So what do you think is going to happen when you put that out there? And as we've talked about many, many times, the national media, which the Super Bowl is on a national stage, it's a worldwide stage, really.
It is.
Who are they fascinated with? They're fascinated.
Taylor Swift?
Well, they are. No, not the world. Like the national media here that covers the league. They're fascinated with Mike Vrabel.
Okay, I'm sorry.
They're fascinated by it, right? Because they see him from afar. And remember, they told us all that he was, if the Titans fire him, I mean, he's going to be the first one gobbled up. There'll be teams lined up around the block to hire him. Who's he coaching again?
Mike Vrabel?
Right. Yeah.
Nobody.
Nobody.
No.
He's not. He's not. He's not coaching anybody. I don't know what we're doing here.
I don't know what's going on. Hold on. Hold on. I'm sorry. We get people. Hold on. We go get to all that in a second. By the way, this tweet, 351,000 tweets.
There you go.
Or views, rather.
There you go.
351,000 views.
There you go.
So why would somebody do this? Well, that's why.
That's why. And that's fine. That's okay. But I still, like, Diana Rossini, like, really, like, I guess the way I looked at it is I kind of know the category of people that I'm not going to say right now that you will know. I don't need to say it out loud. You would know. And probably a lot of our listeners would know. There are certain people that I could say, I wouldn't be surprised if that's who put it out there. Like, oh, I know where that's coming from.
Oh, you mean actual
Got
GMs?
It. No.
You mean
Rossini.
You mean the jocks
it's
out
like,
there?
Oh, where it came from.
Oh, you mean those people?
Okay, now I got it. Easy dot to connect. But Diana Rossini, like, again, I know she's going to do I'm just reporting what was told to me. Like, I just put it out there. I mean, that's what somebody said to me.
Yeah,
I get it. But Diana, like, you knew what was going to happen, and that's again, whatever. That's fine. But it's just such a strange story, or is it? Who told her that? Is it because they had firsthand knowledge that maybe Vrabel is a real...
Maybe he was just giving their honest impression.
Jerk.
This is how they feel.
Behind closed doors? And that's a nice way of putting it? I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe this is just how somebody honestly feels about, maybe his size to this NFL GM.
You think somebody from afar really feels that way enough to tell Diana Rossini? Really? From afar, you're like, I'm going to feel the need to say this about somebody.
Let me ask you this, Darren, a journalist or talk show host at the very least of the last 25 years. You don't think people who are in the industry, NFL GMs, players, whatever, you don't think they lie to us? You don't think they lie to the media? They lie to us all the time too, and we have to figure out what's truth and what's lies, and what's worth reporting and what's not. So I'm not saying. Listen. Do I believe that someone told Diana Rossini that? Yeah. I do. Do I believe the person who told Diana Rossini
I don't think
that
she's making it
is
up.
telling the truth when that person said that? I don't know about that. I would more question who told her that and if that was truthful versus her actually being told that. I feel strongly she was actually told that. Now, did the person who actually told her that make that up? That is more likely than her making it up on her own. I don't believe that. I believe that she was told correctly by a source, but I'm just saying that we have sources. People talk to us, but everybody who talks to us isn't always telling us the truth about everything either.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, I've been burned. I know that.
It's up to us to pick and choose about what it is that we let out.
But I've been burned.
Listen, there's a reason why they call the media gatekeepers, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't let everything, and some people don't like that.
Yep.
But there's a reason why they call us gatekeepers, because we lock stuff out. We don't let everything in. So there's that.
615-844-5600 is the phone line and the text line. Don't forget, you can also comment on our YouTube page. You can watch the show every day on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. On our YouTube page, if you type in WNSR Live in the search tab, you can comment and we can interact. Kind of like Eric in Columbia is doing. Said Diana Rossini report. Sorry, I love her, but that's garbage.
All right.
I mean, I kind of felt the same way. It didn't make.
Okay.
I didn't really understand why that was being put out there, but I also felt the need because in this market, we probably should have discussed it, or we should discuss it because it did happen after the show yesterday.
Yeah.
All right. We'll come back. We'll take our first break. By the way, Steve Lehman will join us to begin the second hour of the program. Again, 615-844-5600 if you want to get involved in the show as you listen to the McFarland Show here on WNSR.
In a single moment, everything can change. When a player's sudden cardiac event brought a national football game to a halt, it shone a spotlight on the importance of CPR readiness. Now, with youth sports in full swing, the American Heart Association is rallying parents and coaches to be ready in an emergency. To be ready, learn hands-only CPR. It's a skill anyone can learn in minutes. Visit heart.org/hands-only-CPR and become a lifesaver today.
Here's Justin McFarland with a moment in Black history.
Jackie Robinson. Robinson was a professional baseball player and second baseman. In 1947, he became the very first African-American to play in the major leagues. In 1949, he was awarded the National League's Most Valuable Player, making him the very first black player to receive that honor. He also helped the Brooklyn Dodgers win the 1955 World Series. Jackie Robinson was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1962. Jackie Robinson's number 42 has been retired for all time in Major League Baseball. Jackie Robinson, another legend in Black history.
The cost of living is getting higher daily. Stop throwing money away on rent. I recommend that you call my agent for over 20 years. That's Sylvester Armour with Armour Realty at 615-485-9211. Sylvester and his team of realtors are proven, sharp, and savvy. That's 615-485-9211. or armorrealtors.com. They will help you own or sell a home.
Bob's Steak and Chop House, located in the Omni Nashville Hotel, is a nationally renowned steakhouse specializing in the finest corn-fed Midwestern prime beef. The menu formula is simple. Incredible meat, gigantic shrimp, fabulous salads, and decadent desserts. Start your experience at Bob's with the fried calamari or fresh scallops seared in Texas burnt honey. All the beef at Bob's Steak and Chop House are USDA prime cut. From the traditional filet of tenderloin and ribeye to the adventurous Kansas City bone-in strip. They even have 2 different surf and turf options. And if you're looking for the other white meat, Bob's Steak and Chop House serves a dry-aged pork tomahawk with homemade applesauce. Fresh seafood is on the menu from salmon to scampi and even fresh lobster tail. For reservations, give them a call or log on to the Omni Nashville Hotel website. Bob's Steak and Chop House at the Omni Nashville Hotel. Are you ready for a touchdown of flavor and excitement? Look no further than Sam's Place and Sam's Sports Grill, the ultimate destination for great food, fantastic drinks, and game time atmosphere that will have you cheering for more. Sam's is the place for every sports fan and food lover with over 40 TVs at every location. Sam's has a family-friendly atmosphere where everyone can have a blast. From their friendly staff to awesome kids menu, they've got something for everyone. Online at samsplace.net or samsportsgrill.com, or call and find the nearest location to you. At Sam's, the game is always on and the fun never stops.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
I said all day yesterday on the show that you don't hand a microphone to a guy when the season's over to address the crowd if he's coming back.
No,
he's not coming back. So we can stop saying if he doesn't come back. But today,
now you really
let me reiterate, for sure, gone.
Look forward to the ceremony.
Can put that to bed.
The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR.
Honest opinions, genuine conversations. The McFarland Show.
(615-844-5600) is how you get in touch with us. By the way, I don't know who fixed this. Damon, did you do this?
It's better.
Yeah,
good.
It's better. I don't know what happened yesterday.
What is this?
Probably
people don't know what this is.
I know. I'm having an off-air conversation on the air.
Yes, you are.
Probably Adam fixed it.
Adam?
Yeah.
Well, if Adam did, thank you.
I did it magically. I put
Did
my
you
hands
say
up.
something, Adam Johnson?
Abracadabra, doomba, something like that.
What?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know what just happened.
What?
Let's go to the phones.
Please.
Before this gets derailed quickly.
Please.
Let's go to Nolansville. Tony, what's up?
That was pretty good, Damon. That was pretty good. I was laughing. Good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon.
First of all, let me clarify my mess and my egg on my face of yesterday. I tried to give out a stat, Darren, and trying to remember something off the top of your head when you're 65. That's what you get. You get a little cloudy figure. So I want to clarify that from yesterday. We were talking about teams that had won the Super Bowl wearing white.
You were talking about teams that were winning
correct.
Super Bowls wearing white with something about 13 out of 34 or something. You did not have
you're right.
Tony. You did
You're
not
right.
have us running to our phones to bet the Super Bowl after your call.
It was not a hot topic.
I didn't tweet out your stat.
My numbers, in the last 10 years, team wearing white is 8-2. The
Okay.
23 Super Bowls this century. The 13 wins, 13-10. And out of 57 Super Bowls, the team wearing white, 37-20.
Okay.
Pretty interesting.
I'd stick with the 8-2 stat. It's more attractive.
It's more attractive and
Yeah.
it's more recent.
Yeah.
More recent. Guys, y'all were talking about Vrabel. I don't think this is really going to happen, but a buddy of mine, we were talking about it. Could he possibly be a head coach candidate for Boston College?
Nope. No, I'm sorry. No, I don't think he is a NFL coach. I don't see him going.
And I'll agree with that.
You know, maybe 3 years from now, no one hires him. Maybe.
Okay, so let me throw a wrinkle on this. What if Ryan Day loses to Michigan again?
Yeah.
And gets fired?
Yeah.
Would Ohio State want him?
Would they want him? Sure. Would he want them is the better question.
Okay, the answer is no.
No.
No?
Do you see Mike Vrabel going into booster meetings and talking to fans? Do you see Mike
After what we
Vrabel
just
going
talked
to
about?
living rooms and talking to mom and dads about why their son should come to Ohio
Now, hold on.
State?
While it's comical,
I know
and I'm
he's
laughing,
I know he's done some of the
but
work.
when he wants to turn it on,
Oh, sure.
he can.
Absolutely. The question is when he wants to versus when he absolutely has to do it as a profession.
If you need players and you want players, then you will turn it on.
Yes, or if you want a job, you will turn it on because this is your job.
Yes.
He currently doesn't need a job. He currently still technically has a job. He'll be paid the remaining years under the Titans contract until he's hired from somebody else. So for at least the next, and I don't really know what the number of years, but at least the next 2 years, I understand, he'll be paid as the Titans head coach until he finds another job. So why under those circumstances would he take a job that I'm not sure he really wants if he's still being paid as an NFL head coach?
Question.
Yes, sir.
If he's out of the picture in 2 years, does he become just a thought and not a real interest to general managers and team owners if he's out of the picture for 2 years?
I'm not sure, Tony, and this is why. Because the NFL goes in these cycles, and right now we're in a young cycle.
Yeah, but what Tony's saying is out of sight, out of mind. He's saying if he doesn't take a job and he does what you said, just keep cashing the checks the Titans are sending him.
Yeah.
But what happens when you say the cycle, these other guys, to get back in, they take jobs to get back in the cycle, and then they have success somewhere as a whatever coach, coordinator, whatever, and then they get hired back. They get another bite at the apple. Like, okay, you tell me, and this is hard. This is putting you on the spot. How many people have sat out 2 years and did nothing and got back in as a head coach, as the head coach?
I'm not sure, but I'm thinking that it's happening. And there's a guy that I'm thinking that may have done it, and I'm looking here.
On the college level, I'm thinking Gene Chizik.
Yes. but he came back as
But
a
not
coordinator.
in the pros.
Came back as a wait a minute.
Justin
He came
is
back
saying
as a
that-
coordinator, not a head coach.
Okay. That's the only person that popping into my mind, and yeah, that's a good question. I want to bring up one more topic.
Lovey
and I'll
Smith.
get off here and let y'all talk about it. Darren, you might know this better than me and Justin. Justin, you might know it better than me and Darren. Vandy Lance and I was talking yesterday, and I hope he don't mind me throwing his name out. With the Kentucky game coming up tonight with Vandy, who was the last good Vanderbilt basketball player Vanderbilt has recruited out of Kentucky? The last one I recall was Dan Lange. That was years ago. I cannot recall a top-notch Kentucky recruit for Vanderbilt since Dan Lange. And y'all know of any other?
Nothing's coming to mind on me for that one, but
I
They
need to
used
think about it.
recruit out of Kentucky.
Was
crazy
Cage
with
out of Kentucky?
Cage, Milburn, your boy Phil Cox was.
I mean, there have been, sure.
Yeah, and Scott Drought.
Yeah.
Man, they used to recruit
Yep.
a heck of. Wasn't Phil Ford out of Kentucky? Not Phil Ford. I'm sorry, Joe Ford. Joe Ford. Wasn't he out of Kentucky?
I guess
That's
what
true.
you're saying is, lately they're
They
not.
don't- yeah, they
I got you.
they hadn't hit Kentucky, and we were just talking about this. So it's just some thoughts. So we'll see how it goes tonight. Hey guys, thanks for taking my call again. Hey, enjoy your evening. Enjoy the game tonight.
Thank
See
you,
man.
Tony.
thank you,
Appreciate it.
Tony. We appreciate it, man.
Was Lovey Smith out for years?
Yeah, 2 years. Lovey Smith was let go by the Bears in 2012, picked up by the Buccaneers in 2014. So technically 2 years he was out and jumped back in. But there's what I was saying is there's a cycle about this, and right now we are clearly in a young cycle where everyone is hiring younger coaches. But very quickly, Darren, we can turn into where somebody's looking for more experience, where the younger coaches fall out of favor, they fall on their face, and then people want people with more experience, and all of a sudden, a 50-year-old Mike Vrabel, he won't be 65 in 2 years, he'll be 50, a 50-year-old Mike Vrabel with playoff experience and a winning record looks a little better, perhaps. Perhaps. I'm just saying. Someone who, with some playoff experience and some wins for a franchise, has been in the desert for 2 years, all of a sudden looks at Mike Vrabel and goes, man, bring me some Mike Vrabel up in here because the last 2 years at 3-14 have been horrible. Yes, bring Mike Vrabel in here. Whomever franchise, and we know some franchises go do it. I don't know who, but somebody's hired a guy who's going to be a disaster. And 2 years from now, somebody like Mike Vrabel is going to look very attractive.
Look, these there were 8 openings.
Yeah.
They're not all going to work.
No.
We know that.
No. Somebody's going to be an utter disaster.
By the way, is this the new trend? Is Washington trying to set a new trend? Like this Cliff Kingsbury story is interesting, right?
Wow.
Well, Raiders, they're like, he wanted 3 years, and they were like, nah, we'll just give you 2. And so he goes to, I guess Washington, it would be more the Raiders. And when you think about it, it's not a bad business model because of what we're talking about. Like the Raiders are going, why do we want to keep doling out paying off all these guys to go away whenever we all know the shelf life of coaches in the NFL isn't long?
Yeah.
Right?
No, I agree.
And they were like, how about we give you 2 years? And he's like, Washington's going to give me 3. I'm going to Washington. Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah, it's a possibility. It really is. It really is. But we'll see. I mean, it's early on. I'm just saying that
I don't want to give the Raiders too much credit because they haven't been very smart over the years, but that's kind of an interesting thought.
Is.
But you may also lose people.
You could.
By that.
You could. It can go either way.
Right? And they lost Cliff Kingsbury, who's now the OC in Washington, and Eric Bieniemy, he's out.
Well, how badly do they
Washington.
want Cliff Kingsbury? I mean, that remains to be seen.
And also, Ben Johnson apparently is getting out that he looked at Washington and was like, man, you're being run by basketball guys. So I told
you.
I think I'm going to stay here in Detroit.
I said, what did he see in Washington that was so bad? He decided, I'm not going.
It's getting out there, which a lot of things get out during Super Bowl week, is he's like, yeah, you guys are being run by basketball guys.
Okay.
So I'm a football coach. So thanks. Opinionated Larry has walked into our Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio, sponsored by buyandtow.com. Their number is 615-480-6473. Get cash in your hand today and that vehicle hauled away.
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Larry, sorry for we didn't know.
No,
so just to peel the curtain back.
Yeah, no.
Larry walked in early, and we didn't know that he was coming in early. And so
I wanted some of that conversation you guys were having. You having a good conversation.
So that's
about,
good, though. That means
about
we're doing our job.
The former coach of the Tennessee Titans. I want just a little piece, not a lot.
Well, floor's yours.
Little bite. And I'm not engaged in the NFL like I used to be. Used to be a season ticket holder. I'm a big fan of you guys, though. Big fan of you guys.
Thank you, sir.
By the way, he said he did not have that written down. He did not have to say that.
Oh.
So thank you for saying that.
No, that's genuine. Wait a minute, guys. Wait a minute. Okay,
that was for the audience.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Listen.
Yeah.
Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
Was a New England Patriot football player, as I recall.
Yes.
Did he coach anywhere? Can I ask these questions?
Yeah,
you guys,
sure.
you guys throw me out. Throw me
Yeah.
out there. When you guys get ready, throw me out there.
You don't throw nobody out.
Did he have any
Don't tempt me,
coaching?
that part.
Did he have any coaching experience? I'm sorry, before he came to Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Wait
a minute. Houston
pause,
with the Texans.
Pause. Head coaching?
Head coaching.
There we
assistant?
go. There we go.
No.
No, not a head coach.
No, but he just said assistant.
He was an assistant coach.
Okay.
Yes.
He was a coordinator 1 year in Houston with the Texans.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was also on Ohio State staff at the beginning.
Okay.
Yes, he was.
Okay.
Before going to the NFL.
He was a
and being-
linebackers coach as well. Linebackers coach before he became defensive coordinator.
That's right.
Well, look, don't write this down. We don't want this retweeted anywhere. I'm a fan of Mike Vrabel. Definitely. If I'm tearing his name up, these guys just straighten it out later down the road.
Okay.
But Mike's a good guy, stand-up guy, I understand. But when you're hiring, and in business, if you're in business, I'm in business.
Yes, sir.
And I'm hiring. I'm not saying Mike is mediocre, but to a degree it's mediocre. And I'm sorry, when you're hiring, you're spending millions of dollars, millions and millions of dollars. I don't know with the record. See, he might have to redo it. Do a redo as assistant. Guys have done it. You know, it's not unheard of for guys to do a redo as an assistant somewhere, achieve a whole lot of success, learn some things. Because the lady called earlier, so we played something earlier, something the lady said, that Mike had a way about himself that people just may not have been comfortable with. Well, that's okay as long as you're really, really good. Nobody cares. Remember, you guys may be too young to remember a guy they used to call him Big Tuna.
Bill Parcells.
Bill Parcells.
No, I think we remember Bill Parcells.
Thank you for calling me too
Thank
young.
you. I'm saying we're too young to remember
listen.
Bill Parcells.
But this is serious. This is serious.
I thought you were about to say Y.A.
no,
or somebody.
no,
Like,
Just
yeah.
added 2 more
Tom,
minutes.
Tom,
You got 2 more minutes for saying that.
You may be too young to remember George Hallis.
Yeah, right. But Bill
Yeah, he said
Parcells.
big tuna. I'm like,
Bill
I'm talking
Parcells
seafood. Who
Gail
knows?
Sayers references
Right.
may be over our heads.
Whoa.
but-
Hey,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
he made people very uncomfortable. He ruffled feathers.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, he did.
I'm sorry, a professional, a efficient professional sometimes makes people very uncomfortable. But when it's time to perform, the uncomfortableness comes out on the field, on the floor, you name it.
Well, here's your best example that we just saw for 20 years. Who made people uncomfortable in New England for 2 decades?
Oh my goodness! Oh man!
And by the way,
the hoodie,
right? But that's what. But to your point, when you're winning,
yeah,
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
But
No.
then when you start losing,
Yeah,
And Mike, by the way, what did Mike start doing here?
Losing, and you know, I think when he came in, I'm a Titans fan. I'm a homer. I'm a Titans fan, not overly engaged like I used to be. But I thought, and don't get mad at me. Listening on, don't get mad at me. I thought we kept the previous quarterback. Our guy was come on.
The previous quarterback, Marcus Mariota.
No. The next guy. Come on,
Ryan Tannehill.
Ryan
Tannehill.
Okay,
was a serviceable guy. Guy. But if a guy can't take me, if I can't see it in my eyes, take me to that next level.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Somebody's gonna be real mad at me in the front office. Gonna be real mad at me in the front office. But I'm gonna pull him. It might tear the whole place down, or it might be a great success. You don't know. But I think we kept him too long. And if you have a really stellar running back, Derrick Henry, you've got all this going. Why would I? Tannehill's not going to take me there. And you're a coach. You're a coach now. You're coaching the team. Your owner wants results. And I guess it looked good. I guess as it was going, it looked good. They were in the AFC Championship. It looked good.
Yeah.
They were there. But I knew when they got to the AFC, I said, they're not going. They're not going. It's not going to happen. Before the game.
When they lost to Cincinnati, that's kind of when everything.
That was the end.
That's when everything started going the other direction.
Yeah, that was the unraveling.
When they lost to Cincinnati here in the playoffs, that's kind of.
We didn't know it was the unraveling like that, but it was. It was the unraveling.
Well, the good news, opinionated Larry, is the people who made that decision to keep him too long.
Yes,
they're all gone.
Tannehill.
Yeah.
Tannehill.
Okay. No, the people who made the decision to keep him too long.
Yes.
Yeah, they're all gone.
I can see that happening. I can see that. I mean, it's obvious.
They're all gone.
But you want results. It's business. It's a business, and some people with loyalty. I didn't think. Call me crazy. Bill Parcells is out of New England, but I didn't say. I don't think he was done coaching. Am I too close to the New England?
Well, he brought the New York Jets here in 1998, and the two of us were over at Vanderbilt covering that New York Jets team.
Man.
And Bill Parcells.
Sure, man.
And Bill Parcells would not. Here's the true.
Bring that back, man. I forgot all about that.
Here's a true.
That is true.
Big tuna story.
Okay.
He would not let the media into the Jets locker room.
Okay.
We had to stand outside. You know why? There wasn't enough room.
Let's say too tight.
It's too tight. That place was not built for an NFL. Well, for an NFL team to be using that the away locker room.
It was tight.
It was at Vanderbilt.
Oh,
remember this is at Vanderbilt.
Okay.
This is 1998.
Okay, right.
So
Vanderbilt.
I had to get an interview, and I got it with Keith Byers.
Yes.
In 1998.
Okay.
And I had to walk with him to the bus to get the interview because Bill Parcells would not let us in the locker room. And that we had never done that before.
No.
We had never been told the
you'd
locker
never been
room
in a
is closed.
circumstance like that before.
Yes, true. Very true. All right, we need to take a break. Larry, good seeing you. Thanks for
Thank you.
popping in.
Thanks for having me, guys. Thank you so much.
Opinionated Larry.
Yeah.
Appreciate him stopping in here in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. Don't forget, that is sponsored by buyandtow.com. That number is 615-480-6473. Get cash in your hand today and that vehicle hauled away. Thank you, Larry. Good to see you. We come back. The screen says DJ Damon we're going to Florida. He says we're going to Florida next. Okay. We'll take some calls. We're wide open this hour if you want to get involved. 615-844-5600. More of the McFarland Show here on WNSR.
Looking for something to take your mind off this traffic? How about a true story of instant success? Did you hear about the two friends who went grocery shopping in Ashland City and picked up everything on their list plus $75,000? Or the one where a truck driver made a last-minute stop off Interstate 40 and drove off with a cool $1 million? All their lives changed in an instant, and yours could too. So stop by your local retailer for your chance with instant games from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing, life-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
It seems like everywhere you look right now, someone is sick. This year, prepare your family for airborne invaders like bacteria, pollen, and yes, germs with Navage Nasal Care. Navage flushes ultra-pure, refreshing saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out of the other nostril. Navage sucks out viruses, dust, and other airborne particles, all the stuff that gets trapped in your nose, making you miserable. Don't get caught empty-handed this winter. Get Navage, the drug-free solution that helps you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. Even better, Navage is HSA, FSA eligible, so Navage is a great way to spend those funds before they expire. Don't wait a minute longer. Buy Navage today and you'll breathe easier knowing you're putting your funds to good use. Navage is available online at Navage.com or Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-617-0239. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-617-0239. That's 800-617-0239. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The TSU men's basketball squad came through a challenging non-conference schedule with a winning record and now turned their attention to Ohio Valley Conference play. The Tigers kicked off a run of 18 league games over a 9-week period through February, leading the OVC Championships March 6th to the 9th at the Ford Center in Evansville. And part of that, 9 league home games at the Gentry Center. Hello, this is Greg Pogue inviting you to join longtime TSU broadcaster Albert Dawson and me on all the games this season right here on National Sports Radio.
Five-state forecast. Your exclusive National Sports Radio WNSR Sky Scan forecast for this afternoon. An abundance of sunshine, the high 56. Mainly clear, patchy fog tonight, low 32. Patchy fog to start Wednesday, otherwise partly sunny with a high of 64. Utilizing the resources of the WeatherBug Network on National Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's meteorologist, Jim Rinaldi. Sports Radio WNSR.
Text the Strike and Spare studio now at 615-844-5600. You're listening to The McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
I love this today. Today's been spicy.
Lots going on.
Spicy.
Yeah.
615-844-5600. Let's go down to Florida, where I'm assuming it's warmer than it is here. And Kevin has joined us. Kevin, how we doing?
Gentlemen, I'm doing well. How are you all?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for calling.
Hey, no problem. Hey, long-time texter, first-time caller.
Yes.
Love it. Love it. Love your text. Enjoy your calling, sir.
Just wanted to call in and say, hey, I'm a big fan of the show. Darren, I've listened to you since 2012 when I was stationed at Fort Campbell, living in Clarksville, but now I'm down here in sunny Florida. Enjoy your show every day.
Thank you. Are you out of the military and you're just living the life down in Florida, or?
Yes, sir. I'm retired now.
Okay.
I retired in 2016 there.
Okay.
At Fort Campbell. Lived in Clarksville. Just moved down here last March.
Thank you for your service, sir. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, thank you. Just want to say I'm a big fan of the show. That's pretty much it. I do listen to 1010 XL every now and then.
Oh, yeah?
Tony.
WRUF, but, you know, all they do is talk about Florida teams, and I'm not a big Florida team fan. I still follow the Predators and, of course, the Titans, so I'll continue to listen to this show and maybe a couple other shows there in Nashville, but I just want to say thanks. You guys put on a great show. And Justin, you need to start watching some movies, sir.
We're going to see if we can, Kevin.
We're going to try to get
it
on
implemented.
Yeah, because I'm way behind.
When
Kevin.
we get into the sports desert or the summer days,
yeah,
and there's
we'll get
not
there.
much sports, but the sports desert for Sports Talk Radio, that we can maybe get Justin to watch a movie a week.
We're going to see.
Maybe 2. Who knows? Maybe he gets frisky. I don't know.
That'll work. Yeah, he needs to get caught up. So,
but what we'll do is we'll incorporate the listeners like yourself to throw out suggestions, right? And we'll see if we can steer him in the right direction of some things he should watch, and then we'll get him on when he says that he's seen them.
Yeah.
We'll quiz him and see if he really did watch it.
Oh, I wouldn't lie about watching the movie. Now, I would really watch the movie if that's what I said. Now,
I'm sure he'll have quite a long list to watch.
Yeah, because I'm way behind. You know, when you reach a guy who's my age who hasn't seen Forrest Gump, that there's a long line
his
of
list of movies is on a Post-it.
Well, he'll get caught up soon. So,
right.
Kevin, thanks for calling
Kevin,
in,
thank
man.
you so much.
Don't
Kevin.
be a stranger.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and continue the great show.
Appreciate it. Thank you,
Kevin, down in Florida.
Did he say where in Florida? Did I miss
He
that?
did not say exactly where.
But he's listening to 1010XL, so maybe
Northwest
around
Florida,
Jacksonville, yeah.
Or northeast Florida.
Is that northeast?
Yeah.
Good stuff.
All right, good deal, man. Enjoy that.
We didn't talk about Tyke Tolbert,
the wide receiver coach.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I did confirm that Tim Kelly is the tight end coach with the New York Giants.
Oh, so
he and Bowen
So
both.
it was the Jets last year,
Yes.
hiring away all the former Titans coaches,
Yeah.
and now it's the Giants
Yeah.
this offseason.
He's already up on Giants Twitter with the headset on and everything.
Okay.
So it's super official.
All right.
So I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's good.
Wanted
That's
to
good
slide
to know.
that in while I was thinking about it.
All right, let's take our final break, come back and wrap up the first hour, 615-844-5600. More of the McFarland Show next.
And now, NetPaint LLC is reminding Americans to show support to the brave men and women who serve our U.S. military. Please visit DAV.org and consider donating to the disabled U.S. veterans who need our help. This message is brought to you by NetPaint LLC, serving Nashville and the surrounding areas for 10 years. For all your residential, commercial, interior, and exterior painting needs, give the pros a call today at 615-608-4548. 615-608-4548. That's NetPaint LLC. They're professionals who care.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
You enjoy the thrill of gambling, but what happens when it becomes a problem? Whether you want to cut back or quit gambling altogether, the Gambling Clinic has been helping people change their gambling for over 2 decades. We're here to help, not to judge. The Gambling Clinic is a Tennessee-based clinic offering in-person and telehealth support to help people win back their life. Visit us at thegamblingclinic.com. This project is funded by the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services.
Hey, it's John Burton from News Channel 5 and the Greg Pogue and John Burton Show.
And I'm former All-Pro linebacker for the Tennessee Titans, also known as Mr. Monday Night, Keith Bullock.
And I'm Patton Cook. We're inviting you to join us every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 for What's Good with KB and JB, the podcast show.
All live on Nashville Sports Radio and all streaming platforms.
We talk Titans, we talk SEC football, we talk NBA, we talk everything, and we also get a little petty from time to time.
Make sure you join us.
Welcome back to the Strike and Spare Studios. You're listening to The McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Steve Lehman will begin the second hour of the program. Kevin did text us back.
Okay.
And said that he lives in Hernando, Florida, which is halfway between, not Orlando, Hernando, which is halfway between Gainesville and Tampa.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right.
I'm not familiar with that.
I am not either, but Florida's got a lot of different places inside of their state there. Lots of different towns and townships.
It's kind of a big state. It's long, very long.
Yeah. It's a lake community. I see it right here.
You've ever had to drive to Miami? When you get to the the border, you're like, yes, I'm in Florida. Yeah, you got a long ways to go.
We drove to Tampa when I was in high school, and I saw a sign that said Miami 300
I was
something
just saying, that's
miles.
not even halfway.
And I was just saying to myself, I can't believe there's 300 something miles left to go.
Yes.
Of this state that we've gotten down here. You're telling me there's 300 something more miles of this?
Yes.
Down here?
Answer, yes. Oh, on our YouTube page, Eric from Columbia has a birthday today.
How about that?
Hit it, DJ Damon.
No, you got to start at the right spot now.
Oh, my gosh.
You can't start. There you go. Oh. All right.
DJ Damon. That was a swing and a miss, brother.
Get the mark right. But all right.
We did it right in rehearsals. But when we went live, I think we messed up.
It's hard to do this at the last minute.
Okay? Damon, you did this much better in rehearsals.
I know it.
And you nailed it in rehearsals.
We'll come back from break for my man.
You owe Eric in Columbia.
Eric, we're going to do it after the break.
Yeah, you owe him, to do it right.
Yeah, we got to get Stevie Wonder around on the right spot.
Treat it like it's, rehearsals again.
I didn't know Steve was talking this much on that song.
Did you get scared because we were live?
No.
You got Stevie on the ones and the threes here instead of two. I mean, what do you go do, man? How you got Stevie on the 1 and the 3? Come on now. You know better than that.
Here we go. There you go.
3 minutes later, we got it right. Yes. Happy birthday to you, Eric in Columbia.
Happy birthday.
No, bet nobody's ever done that for you, right?
Maybe next time we'll just go with the traditional song.
Right.
Yeah,
or maybe just,
the children's version.
I just didn't want Darren to sing.
Just go with the children's birthday party version.
You didn't want me going, happy birthday to you.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Just stick with that.
All right.
Oh, man. This first hour has felt like...
I don't know. I think we need a do-over.
It felt like a first week. This thing has been long. It's had a lot going on.
I think I'm going to go outside and cool off.
Man. And we got Steve Lehman still?
I'm afraid. I don't know where it's going.
Steve Lehman in here coming up at the top of the next hour.
I got a bad feeling about this one, Bob.
Man.
I think we're going to make it out of here.
Jeez.
Everybody's got to die sometime, Red.
No, I rebuke that. No, we're not going to die in here. We're going to be all right.
Oh, I was quoting a movie. You didn't know it.
I know.
Life's like a box of chocolate.
I haven't seen that one.
Different movies.
Haven't seen that one either. It's okay.
All right, we'll come back hour number 2, I think.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packard. The mother of convicted Michigan school shooter Ethan Crumbley was convicted today of 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. Prosecutors say the shooter's parents ignored their son's mental health struggles and provided easy access to a gun. She now faces up to 60 years in prison. President Biden urging Congress to pass the Senate's $118 billion border security and foreign aid bill. But when former President Trump said he didn't support it, other Republicans fell in line. The president at the White House.
Every day between now and November, the American people are going to know that the only reason the border is not secure is Donald Trump and his MAGA Republican friends.
The House to vote today on a GOP-led push to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas over his handling of the border. The NTSB's preliminary report out today on Alaska Flight 1282. Investigators say 4 bolts that were supposed to keep that door plug in place were missing before the accident. This is ABC News.
Give the star in your life the brightest gift in the world. Name a star after them. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can name a star for birthdays, weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333.
$3,000 to fix my transmission?
$5,000 to replace the engine?
You can't avoid breakdowns, but with Coverage X, no more ridiculous repair bills. Transmission, engine, electronics, Coverage X's vehicle protection plan has you covered with budget-friendly, flexible month-to-month plans. Call 800-875-9695 or CoverageX.com. With Coverage X, unavoidable, unaffordable car repair bills are covered. Visit CoverageX.com or 800-875-9695. 800-875-9695.
WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio. We all make resolutions this time of year, and let's face it, most of them won't stick. But here's one that's not only easy to keep, but will help you feel healthier all year long. Navage. Navage provides quick, drug-free nasal relief by washing saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out of the other nostril. This time of year, when everyone is sick, Navage helps by sucking out germs, bacteria, and viruses trapped in our noses that cause us to feel miserable. And come allergy season, it does the same with dust, pollen, and other allergens. And unlike medications that can take time to help, if they're effective at all, Navage helps treat congestion symptoms in seconds flat, without drugs. This New Year's, resolve to use drug-free Navage to help you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier all year long. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Listen, you can't handle the truth.
It's about to go off. Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios.
Just a bit outside.
Now back to the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call or text now. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Call us or send us a text on the WNSR text line. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600. Call or text. Same number.
Alrighty then.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Second hour rolling along on this Tuesday afternoon. We are live in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. Darren and Justin here with you. Another hour to go. DJ Damon, who can do better with the birthday song. We'll work on it for Eric in Columbia. Although Eric is saying that he enjoyed that. I think he's being very nice and that he's in a good mood because it's his birthday. Maybe he got a lot of cake and some cupcakes. Eric, we'll try to do a little bit better before we get out of here. Let's head over to News 5. News Channel 5, excuse me, and check in with Steve Lehman, who joins us. It's been one of those days. It's just, Steve, how we doing?
I'm doing great. I'm ready to celebrate with you guys. Damon asked me if it was my birthday, which isn't until June, but hey, we can have a party if you want.
I feel like we've been on just a major sugar high during today's show. We've been a little bit all over the place. So I don't think it's a good idea for us to celebrate any more birthdays. Let me start with what got out yesterday after our show. And it was Diana Rossini on The Athletic, and I think it was on a podcast. And let me just start with this, and we'll just kind of take it in layers. I don't think that there was a fit for him, speaking about Mike Vrabel. I don't think he sat in front of any owner who thought that his style was going to work for what they were looking for. There were 7 other openings in the NFL besides the Titans. What do you make of that comment?
I'm a little surprised by it. If I'm being honest, I think Mike Vrabel is a terrific coach. I think he can really help turn around the culture if he walks into your building and you're struggling to get down to business, if you're struggling to win games. I think he can change your culture overnight, frankly. So I'm surprised, given how many openings there were, and obviously the vast majority of those teams really need a culture change and really need to learn how to win some games. I'm surprised there wasn't more interest. I also think it's a little hard, as much as people want to say that they're very reactionary in this league. I think a lot of people who went into the offseason with coaching openings, I know they go through the interview process. I know the Rooney Rule is in place. But I think the vast majority of them are thinking about who they're going to hire before they actually make the decision to fire. Because that makes sense, right? You wouldn't just fire and think, we'll go get anyone. You're thinking, we're going to move on from this coach because we can do better. And we have some ideas in mind. And that doesn't necessarily mean they have one guy in mind, but I think they have a thought or two or a guy or two in place. And I don't think many people thought Mike Vrabel was going to be available. So I think you saw some teams react when he became available and include him in the process. But my guess is none of them started with the idea that Mike Vrabel could be their next head coach, and it was hard to turn back around. But still, at the end of the day, if he wants to coach, and I'm not totally sure he was just banging on doors saying, I need to be an NFL coach next year, I think he's okay with the idea of taking the year off. But if he truly wanted to coach, and you had that many openings, I do find it a bit surprising he ultimately didn't land one of those jobs.
Okay. Then she goes on to say, do you know I had a GM at the Senior Bowl who mentioned to me Vrabel's physical build? What? That he's a very large human being and can be very intimidating to people in an organization that are going to be part of these decisions. And that is a factor, which I laughed and I said, stop. That's not something that's real. Who cares that what someone physically looks like? And then he said, I'm just telling you, I've been in the rooms and somebody's physical presence can make a difference. That is the most bizarre thing. I honestly, we talked about it in the first hour. It is just strange. It's a strange and odd rabbit hole to go down the week of the Super Bowl, which I know why that's happening. I know the Senior Bowl just took place, but what do you make of that portion of it?
So, Darren, I was laughing when you brought this up because I thought that was going to be your first question. Because honestly, that's the most notable part of the entire thing.
Yeah.
Is that she's basically saying that he's too big to coach in the NFL because it's too intimidating. I mean, that is obviously laughable. Now, the statement itself is true. Mike Vrabel is a huge man, and he is intimidating to the average person who walks up to him. He just frankly is. But the idea that somehow that would be disqualifying in a league that is built around enormous people who hit people and, try to pulverize their opponents is just laughable to me. That said, I joked about this to a couple of my friends who don't live here in Nashville, so they don't really have a Vrabel thought much. I just said, isn't this hilarious? And one of them came back and said, I got to be honest, if I was a multimillionaire and owned an NFL team, the idea of Mike Vrabel beating the crap out of me would probably deter me. And so, I mean, maybe there is some subconscious things to these people who have so much money that they can control everything to be sitting across the table from a coach that they don't think they can control because he's just that physically imposing. But yes, if I dig deeper to it, it seems patently absurd.
Wow. That's really what somebody, and I'll just tell you briefly, if you didn't hear what I said, my interpretation was that person was just saying he is someone that is extra. I thought it was more about, look, is he big and intimidating? Yes. I didn't think really it was about his physique. I think it was really about his mindset, his mentality. I think it's basically saying he can be a handful to deal with. That was the nice version coming from a general manager. He's a handful to deal with.
I agree with that as well, Darren. I also think there's a little bit of, you combine it all. You could have Mike Vrabel's personality and not be He-Man as a stature, and it wouldn't be quite as intimidating. You could also have Mike Vrabel's stature and just be a little bit more of a kindler, gentler person, and it wouldn't be as intimidating as well. He is the combination of both of them. He's a huge person, and it is a my way or the highway type of thing. That is who he is. And I do think that probably rubs some owners wrong. I think, honestly, if we're looking at it for what it was, I think that ultimately happened here. whatever the relationship immediately was with Amy Adams Strunk, by the end, she was tired of dealing with him and dealing with his personality. And I don't think it had anything to do with the fact that he's, 6'4", 260 or whatever he is. It had everything to do with the fact that he was just gruff and a difficult person to get along with sometimes. And she finally got fed up with it and decided to go in a different direction. I do think some of that has gotten around the league on Vrabel too, that right or wrong, that at the end of the day, ownership and the front office in Tennessee couldn't see eye to eye with their head coach at the end of it. And so if you're another owner or another front office and you're evaluating Mike Vrabel, how much does that play into your thought process? Do you want to bring in a guy that you may have immediate issues with and how you're going to do business? So I think it all plays a part. But the idea that he's not coaching because he's simply too big is something that's going to carry me into the summer with a lot of laughter.
I think what's interesting is he's not the first guy that's, more than a handful to deal with. I'm sure dealing with Jim Harbaugh on a daily basis is going to be more than a handful. I'm sure that dealing with I'm sure Sean Payton is not exactly tiptoeing through the tulips, spending every day with Sean Payton. He's kind of full of himself, and we could go on and on. The bottom line is, you know how this works, Steve. If you're winning, nobody cares, and everybody tolerates it. If you're not going to be there for long. That's just how it works.
No question. If Mike Vrabel got the Titans to the playoffs, one or both of the last 2 years, he's still the Titans head coach.
Yep.
And it wouldn't matter that he's huge, and it wouldn't matter that he's gruff, or maybe didn't see eye to eye with everybody in the organization. But that didn't happen. And it gave them an excuse to move on, and then it gave other people around the league an opportunity to look at him differently. When he was winning every single season and he was coach of the year in the NFL, there would have been a line down the block of teams that would have trampled over each other for the opportunity to hire a guy like Mike Vrabel. After back-to-back losing seasons and the way it all played out, he didn't end up getting one of 7 other openings in the league. That doesn't mean he's never going to coach again. I firmly believe he's going to be a hot commodity next season, a year out from this, of people who want to give him a shot and believe he can change their organization. But there is some of the rose being off the bloom or the bloom off the rose, whatever the saying is, when it comes to Mike Vrabel in terms of just how things have played out the last couple of years.
The most intriguing hire on Brian Callahan's staff is whom and why?
Ooh, that's an interesting way to put it. I'll give 2 answers to that, I guess. And the first one is kind of obvious. I think getting his dad is enormous because he's one of the great offensive line coaches in the history of the NFL. And if he can come in and help solve the problem there and get the most out of whatever the talent is, because it's a talent issue more than anything else, I think, up front for the Titans. So if Rand Carthon gives him serviceable enough players and he can take them to the next level, well, immediately Brian Callahan is a step forward in terms of being the play caller and the head coach with a serviceable offensive line. The other intriguing hire to me is Denard Wilson, because he is a guy that essentially he is handing over the reins to the defense, because you have a new head coach who's also going to be the offensive play caller. So whoever he was going to hire on defense, essentially, not just as the defensive coordinator, he is essentially the defensive head coach. And so that's an enormous responsibility. And you've got a guy coming in who has never called plays on that side of the ball as well, in Denard Wilson. You're giving him an enormous, enormous task that he's going to be a first-time guy in that role. Everybody talks about his experience and how good he is and how smart he is and how well he relates to players. I even talked to Jeff Fisher, and he said, I love him. He worked with me for 5 years in St. Louis and L.A. He knows what he's doing. The defensive side of the ball is going to be fine. But, guys, to me, that's the most intriguing hire, because you're hiring a guy who's never been in this position before to be the defensive head coach of this football team. And if you get it right, it looks like a genius move, and it helps you take the next step as a franchise. But there could be some growing pains on that side of the ball, too, and that's a risk you take as a first-time head coach in Brian Callahan.
How about Terry Killens, who used to play here? How about him? And he was on that Super Bowl team for the Titans. How about the fact that he is officiating this Super Bowl. He is one of the officials. He is a part of this crew, and he becomes the first former player, now official, to do that in the Super Bowl. It's pretty cool. I remember him when he was here.
Yeah, it's amazing, Darren. And we actually did a story about him last night on the 6 o'clock news on News Channel 5. And it's just a really unique story. He was a guy who hung around the NFL for 7 years. He was a solid player, obviously had a good career, not a superstar by any means. Played in a Super Bowl with the Titans, but that's pretty much it. And he went back to Mason, Ohio, outside of Cincinnati. He's a school district security officer. He and his wife had 5 children. She unfortunately passed away 4 years ago due to breast cancer, so he's dealt with the family stuff. He had a loving wife that he unfortunately lost at a way too early age. But you back up a little bit, and several years after he was done playing, he was just bored and missed the opportunity to get on the field again and what it meant to be out there in the spirit of competition. And somebody said, you know what, you should check into being an official. And he said, what, officials? I didn't even talk to them. I didn't know who they were. I never talked to them when I played. Why would I be an official? But he thought, hey, maybe there's something to this. And so he signed up for a $100 officials clinic in Ohio in the summer, and then went out to be a JV high school football ref and worked his way up from there to the varsity, to Division III, to the SWAC, to the American Athletic Conference, Division I, FBS, and then in 2019 got the call to the NFL. He grinded with the help of his wife through that time and other people, got to the NFL. He's dealt with tragedy along the way, and now here you are 4 or 5 years later, and he gets the call to be a part of the all-star crew, to be the umpire of Super Bowl 58. It is really a remarkable story, and he's making history. As you mentioned, the first guy to play in a Super Bowl and now referee in a Super Bowl. And it was really cool. It's fun to tell that story as well, but it's something else to watch for on the biggest day of the football year.
Derrick Henry did some talking to Jim Wyatt over the weekend down there at the Pro Bowl, where he said, he's just kind of in wait and see. I find it interesting that Brian Callahan mentioned that he's already had contact with Will Levis and talked with him, and is excited to get to work and all of that. And I know Derrick Henry technically is a free agent, but he's still under contract and because the year hasn't started over yet. So if Callahan wanted to have a conversation with Derrick Henry, I don't think there's anything stopping that, but it doesn't seem like the two of them have. To me, this is another telltale indication that Derrick Henry playing days are over here in Tennessee. The fact that, to our knowledge, or at least as of this weekend, he has had zero contact with the new head coach.
I think that's probably right, Justin. If I was a betting man, I would anticipate that Derrick Henry wearing that medium-sized T-shirt or wherever it was for the NFL Pro Bowl game with the small Titans logo on it over the weekend was probably the last time you'll see him representing the Titans in any uniform in his NFL career. But I also will back off of that just for a moment. I think you'll find out when it comes to Henry and his future. I don't think there will be any real actions to this until March comes, because I think the market is going to be set on Henry, and it's going to be set by outside forces. I think there's a level of the Titans, just from an organizational standpoint, and maybe even a Brian Callahan standpoint, that would like to have Derrick Henry back. But it's going to have to come under the perfect circumstances for them, and probably for him too. And so what that means is when the market comes open, what are other teams willing to do? Is it 1 year with a lot of money? Is it 3 years and less money? Is it 2 years and certain guarantees? And that's going to start to get set, and it's going to get set by other teams. And so the question then is, when the Titans begin to look at that, what's palatable for them? What's the deal that you're willing to make for Derrick Henry? And that'll ultimately get worked out. Ultimately, I don't believe it probably will get worked out to a place where he's back here next year. I think he'll be someplace else, someplace where he believes he's got a decent shot to win a Super Bowl and he gets the years and the term that he's looking for. But we don't really know what that market is going to be for a 30-plus-year-old running back come March. And if it's not maybe what's expected, I do think there's a slim shot it could work out that he would be back here and then have the shot to break the franchise all-time rushing record and help them sell tickets and help move in the new era of the Callahan offense.
Okay. It is no secret that Brian Callahan's father, he's officially on board as the offensive line coach. And as you mentioned, he's one of the great offensive line coaches in recent NFL history, and the offensive line is a mess. It's also no secret that Brian Callahan values wide receivers. The Titans need both of them at this point. So with the 7th pick in the upcoming NFL draft at this early age and early start with no free agency, no movement at all, I'm asking Steve Lehman, are the Titans going to pick a tackle or a wide receiver? It's unfair, but I'm going to ask it anyway because he's kind enough to come on our show. Steve, take it away.
Well, it is unfair because we haven't had a chance to go through free agency together before this, and that's going to be a huge factor here. If it's just today and there's no other factors here, and you're just telling me the next player added to the team is the 7th overall pick to the current roster that we have, I'm taking a tackle. Because to me, the entire breakdown of the Titans' offense last year was the inability to block. They couldn't get the running game going to get defenses on their heels, and then when they had to pass, they couldn't block and protect the quarterback. They have to get beyond that. And it's going to come, yes, from having Bill Callahan there to coach them, but more so, you just have to have better players up front. Now, that could happen through free agency. So if Rand Carthon goes out there and identifies multiple guys in free agency and feels like he can fix the line that way, okay, maybe you can lessen the need there and you could focus that 7th overall pick on finding Rome Odunze or somebody like that to come in and be a star wide receiver. I would be okay with that if that's the way they get there. But at the moment, without seeing anything that they do in free agency, if you're just talking about, to me, what's the biggest need, to me, it's the left tackle. To me, it's solidifying that entire offensive line because no matter what you want to do as an offense, it all starts with being able to block and win in the trenches. And the Titans haven't been able to do that the last 2 years, and that, to me, is the biggest reason why they have slid backwards as an organization. So you got to get that fixed. I'm taking left tackle 7.
All right, on the way out, who do you got? Who's winning Sunday?
So I think that the 49ers are the better overall football team, but gosh, guys, I think I've picked against Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Andy Reid multiple times in the last few years and been wrong just about every time. So I'm not going to do that again until somebody actually dethrones them. The Chiefs are the dynasty in the NFL right now. They're on the doorstep of winning a third one of these, and I think they're going to get it. I'd love to see the 49ers win. I'd love to see them break through. It'd be the first time since '94. I think they've got the better overall roster, but the Chiefs have maybe the best coach in football right now, the best tight end ever, and maybe a guy on the way to being the best quarterback ever. So I'm going to stick with that greatness, and I'm going to pick the Chiefs.
Okay. Steve, always a pleasure. Thanks so much. Have a great week, and we'll talk soon.
All right, guys. Enjoy the birthday celebration.
Steve Lehman, News Channel 5. Can check him out tonight, 6 and 10 o'clock. We're wide open the rest of the hour. If you want to get involved in the show, 615-844-5600 is our phone line and our text line. You can also watch the show on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. More of the McFarland Show next.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
There aren't any cops around.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good.
Hey, I can hold my liquor. I drink and drive all the time.
If you put away some drinks, put away your keys. Fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
Here's Justin McFarland with a moment in Black history.
Jackie Robinson. Robinson was a professional baseball player and second baseman. In 1947, he became the very first African-American to play in the major leagues. In 1949, he was awarded the National League's Most Valuable Player, making him the very first black player to receive that honor. He also helped the Brooklyn Dodgers win the 1955 World Series. Jackie Robinson was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1962. Jackie Robinson's number 42 has been retired for for all time in Major League Baseball. Jackie Robinson, another legend in Black history.
The cost of living is getting higher daily. Stop throwing money away on rent. I recommend that you call my agent for over 20 years. That's Sylvester Armour with Armour Realty at 615-485-9211. Sylvester and his team of realtors are proven, sharp, and savvy. That's 615-485-9211 or armorrealtors.com. They will help you own or sell a home.
Step through the doorway and immerse yourself in a state of total serenity. Welcome to Mokara Spa. Massage therapy, facials, body treatments, and more. Or try one of our signature services. These customizable services combine proven techniques with the latest spa supplements to help relax the body, restore the mind, and soothe the senses. Downtown now has a destination for you to do good things for yourself. A gift certificate to Mokara is the perfect present for the loved one in your life. Surprise someone with a trip to Mokara Spa. More information at 761-3600. Complimentary valet parking.
Why not treat you and your loved one to a couples retreat at Mokara? Call to arrange your gift certificates for Valentine's Day, or simply take 5 minutes, leave your car with the valet, and stop in. Located at 250 Fifth Avenue South, inside the Omni Nashville Hotel.
Oh, beautiful Gold Rush with your sparkling top prize. You surely are a sight for sore eyes. And jackpot slots with your chance of $75,000 winners. Oh, how I'd take you for a candlelight dinner.
Sounds like people are really loving the new February instant games from the Tennessee Lottery. Play today for your chance to win up to $5 million, only from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
This is the Greg Vogue and John Burton Show.
But if you kick the field goal there, man, this is to get you up 3 scores, and you saw the momentum change. You know, the Niners are too good of a team to sleepwalk for 4 quarters, and it just snowballed. Touchdown, fumble, touchdown. Man, my heart bleeds for Detroit, man. I know it's been a couple of days, but they're not going to get over this until next year.
Greg Vogue and News Channel 5's John Burton, WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Give us a call, 615-844-5600. The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Yeah. 615-844-5600 if you want to get involved in the show. Been a fun show today here on this Tuesday as we get a little bit closer to Kansas City and San Francisco. We're going to make our picks on Friday, and I honestly change my mind, I think, every hour.
You should.
Every day.
Yeah,
I just,
it's that close.
One day I wake up and I've talked myself into San Francisco, and by lunchtime I've talked myself back into the Chiefs. And then by dinner, I'm back to the 49ers.
Yeah.
And by the time I go to bed, I'm back on the Chiefs. So
yes.
I don't know. I do not, as of today, I do not have a strong opinion.
Yeah.
One way or the other. I will say this.
Wait for the injury report.
As for, betting purposes, I've done quite well over the years.
Okay.
On betting the Super Bowl. But I also will say this. A lot of those times I was covering it. And I would get a vibe. I would get a feel. I would talk to people.
Yeah.
Be a little bit close. Like I'll tell you right now. And then by the time it hit me, I don't remember at what point in New Orleans when I was covering the Ravens and the 49ers, the Harbaugh Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
By the time it was the end of the week, I was like, man, I'm just telling you, the Ravens are winning. They are not losing. The Ravens are 100. They are winning. And I started saying it. I think it was probably by Thursday. Maybe it was all the way till Friday. I don't know, but I think it was like Thursday. I was going on the radio. I was going on social media, and I'm like, I'm down here. I'm covering it. The Ravens are winning. It was just, again, you start talking to people. You have an interview. Things just start happening. You go to the media days. And I've also done quite well not being there. But this one, I'm obviously from afar. I'm not in Vegas. We're not going to Vegas. And right now, I don't have a good vibe. But it's only Tuesday. Like, I just keep going back and forth. So we'll see if later in the week my mind changes. But right now, I just don't know. I could be talked into either one because I think the Chiefs, because of Mahomes and because of Kelsey and because of Reed, they're more proven. But the 49ers, in my opinion, are more talented.
They are.
But talent doesn't always win this game.
No, it doesn't.
The more talented team doesn't always win it.
It doesn't.
So there's that. So that's where I am on Tuesday afternoon.
I'm going to, and one of my best friends in the world is a huge 49ers fan, and he's gonna shoot an arrow at me, and I know, and I'm sorry. But I would like the 49ers to win. I'm going to go that far. I would like.
Why would you like the 49ers to win?
Because I think it's healthy for the game if the 49ers win a little bit over Patrick Mahomes. If Patrick Mahomes wins 3 Super Bowls here in 4 years or whatever it is, or 5 Super Bowls in 5 years, 4 Super Bowls in 5 years, it has this dominant type of run. I think it makes him. Yes, an all-time great, but it also makes him a villain in a way. I would prefer that, the NFL, what makes the NFL great is the fact that everybody thinks they can win. Everybody thinks they can win. Everybody thinks at the beginning of the season, my team has got a chance to win the Super Bowl. And when you have a team that wins 4 out of 5, it kind of takes away from that. It says, no, not everybody, no.
I don't subscribe to that.
Not every team can win because you don't have number 15 on your team, and the team that's had number 15 4 of the last 5 years is one of the thing. So, and I understand why, but that's beside
Tom Brady won it 7 times.
Yeah, but he won it 7 times over 20 years. It was more spread out.
Yeah, it was.
And
he lost some.
And he lost some. And 2, and to be exact, but
was it 2 or 3? 2 or 3?
He lost 2 to Eli. I'm sorry.
That's right, 2 to Eli. Okay.
There's more than that. But what Mahomes is on is a Terry Bradshaw, Joe Montana type of run where you're going to win 4 in a decade.
Yeah, but they never lost.
That's true.
He's already lost.
He has lost one, and you're right. Those guys did not lose. Those guys never lost. Those guys were 4-0.
Yeah.
In their Super Bowl run. But I promise you, this generation, listen, we got a whole generation of people who are listening to us right now who thinks LeBron is the GOAT, okay? They won't care. They will not care.
And they're already starting to talk themselves into Patrick Mahomes being the GOAT.
They won't,
because that's what we do.
That's what we do. We quickly forget anything that happened the day before yesterday, and we're done.
Or when that person retires, we're ready to anoint. Someone's got to be the GOAT.
Yeah.
Well, they don't. No,
it's okay.
It's supposed to be generational.
We can wait.
Yeah, it's supposed to be generational.
The GOAT doesn't have to be playing right now.
Right.
We can wait.
Yeah.
We can wait for the next one to come along. He doesn't have to be in the league right this second. It's okay.
But the sports beast that is social media and is sports talk radio and is whatever television, whatever outlet or outlets you have, we're quick because there's always content and you've always got to be saying something. Then we're so quick. I mean, I've already started hearing that. I'm like, give me a break. Are you kidding me? Like, I didn't love the Patriots run and I didn't love Tom Brady, but let's just stop it. Patrick Mahomes is not he is not in the same breath as Tom Brady. He's not. Okay? Now, I understand I get it. Now, here's the thing. The body of work is not, I don't think it's even close to being done.
No.
So, I know a lot of people are like, if he stays on this trajectory and if he does.
He can also fall off a cliff.
He can also, never get back again after this year.
Easily. There's enough talent in the AFC to keep him out. And a couple of guys over there who also are in their prime, who also need, to get their Super Bowl run in, who could easily keep him out for years. And we've talked about it over and over again. Dan Marino and Warren Moon, guys who didn't get to go. Marino went to 1 year, but he played, another 14 years after that and didn't get to go.
Yeah.
Warren Moon played 12 years of outstanding football and didn't get to go. It's not guaranteed. These are Hall of Fame guys. Didn't get to go. Phillip Rivers didn't get to go. He's going to go to Canton. Didn't get to go. It's not guaranteed. But they can also keep other GOATs out. I said all that to try and say this. That even though the 49ers, I think, is my personal who I would like to win, I think, it's hard for me to pick against Patrick Mahomes. And I've been saying this, Darren, since the giddy up. They are the toughest out. because of who plays quarterback for them. It doesn't matter. The other team is more talented. The Ravens were more talented than the Chiefs. I don't know how anybody can sit here with a straight face and say otherwise. They have better receivers. They have better defense in certain areas. And maybe not the defensive line, but the linebackers in the secondary most definitely better than the Chiefs. But it didn't matter. None of that mattered. They couldn't put it together when they needed to, and 15 could. There's the difference. So for me, number 15 is the difference. I don't know how he's going to do it. I just think that he'll show up to whatever occasion presents itself and do more than the other team. Does that make them trash? No. It just makes Patrick Mahomes that much better, which is kind of where we've been.
Think about his big games in this short amount of time in his career. Think about his loss, Justin. His loss was in overtime, right?
The Super Bowl loss?
Was the Bucks Chiefs overtime?
I'm striking out on that now. I don't remember. I don't think so. It could have been. I'll look
that up.
I'll look it up.
Either way, I know it came down. I think it was, or was just the Patriots-Falcons the only overtime Super Bowl? I thought we've had a couple here lately. Let's look that up.
I'm looking it up now. It shouldn't be that hard to find. Let's see. No, that's the Raiders. Man, where is it? I'll try to find it.
His loss to the Bengals.
Yeah. Now that was
same deal.
That was an absolute thriller.
Thriller.
No, the Bucks blew away the Chiefs. It was 31-9 the final score.
Oh, that's right. That was no offensive line. My bad. His offensive line, he was running for his life. That's right.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay. My bad. So was it I was trying to think of the biggest games that he's lost. Bengals.
The Bengals one jumps out. Now,
was that
game,
overtime?
That was an overtime thriller.
Okay, so that's the one I was confused. Okay.
All-time classic.
And that was a classic.
Yeah. All-time classic.
They lost in overtime. It was at Arrowhead. And so you're right. I guess like that Super Bowl, and that's only because the offensive line was so bad for Kansas City. He was running for his life. He was getting beat up in the second half. But, I mean, when you think about it, he's never been out of a game. He's always right there on the doorstep of winning.
Yeah.
You know?
No, he is.
I mean, I guess now but it was not till the second half is when they really opened it up on him, and it just got away.
Yeah, it did.
And he was just, at that point, and I'm sure at some point, it's only human nature. He's like, yeah, it's just not happening. Like, my offensive line couldn't.
Yeah.
They couldn't block, five-year-olds.
They couldn't get off the bus. So here we are. We're going to lose this game, and I'm going to have to eat it.
Yeah.
And, and then we'll have to figure it out. But because he's the toughest out, I'm going to go with the Chiefs unless something comes to me in the middle of the night and tells me otherwise.
All right, let's sneak in a call before we take another break. Let's go to Mike. Mike, what's up?
Good afternoon.
Hey,
You
Mike.
mentioned Dan Marino. I'm sitting here looking. I got a couple of Dan Marino jerseys hanging in my condo. I finally, once he retired, I pretty much just kind of gave up because, like Darius Rucker says in the song, "The Dolphins make me cry." So I finally just kind of gave up, and I guess Darius likes to do a little partying around.
I think he's been crying lately.
Little trouble recently. Hey, on the subject country music, about 95, I had a chance with my dad on the sounds to umpire a celebrity softball game. It was Tracy Bird and his band against Toby Keith and his band. And I tell you what, Toby was a big old boy. And
yes, sir.
Sorry to hear the news. Had stomach cancer and passed away. Got a chance to see him in concert a couple times. He two songs he said you'll never hear on the radio, and one was "I'll Never Smoke Weed with Willie Again," and then he had another one. Good song. Another one was "Get Out of That Dress" or "Get Out of My Car."
Oh,
but
oh dear.
Good career. I don't think he was a big Nashville fan. I think he was nominated for several awards, but I don't think he liked the whole. And he's not the only one you get nominated or don't get nominated. You have all these hit songs, and you never win anything. They always give it to Little Big Town or Dan and Shay or something. They don't like to kiss up, I think. So anyway, gonna miss old Toby.
Sad, yeah.
Hey, I did watch that show, The Greatest Night in Pop, and
yes, sir.
Waylon Jennings, he didn't care much for that.
No, he didn't like the Key Swahili. He decided, no, I'm not doing that. And walked out of the session. That is correct.
And Bob Dylan, he didn't have much fun either, it looked like. But it was a very good show.
It was,
It was a very good show. Hey, last thing, talking about sports, as my Commodores go for 3 in a row over the Wildcats tonight. Hopefully they can find a way. What are y'all? I know a couple Kentucky fans. They're ready for a change. They're ready for.
Yes,
they think Cal's done about all he can do. They're tired of losing to St. Peter's in the first round.
Yep.
Now they've lost back-to-back at Rupp. He's got a lifetime contract.
Yep.
And I know some people think he's a great coach. He's going to final, but I don't. What have you heard?
Oh, Mike, it's the same thing. They're all done. I mean, I shouldn't say they're all. It's a big fan base, but the ones that I talk to, here's what I get just over and over and over. He's not hungry. He doesn't care. He's made his money. He's got a lifetime contract. There's no drive in him. He's going through the motions. He just keeps, he recruits these big-time these 5 stars, and all he cares about is getting them to the pros. It's just the same. Like, I just hear the same thing over. And look, it's hard to argue, right? I mean, he hasn't had the results. They just don't think he has the drive to win anymore. It doesn't matter one way or the other. Like, he's made more money than he knows what to do with. He's got no pressure on him, and they're just over it. Like, I've heard plenty that have said it is time to move on.
Yeah, he does seem to really get a thrill out of talking about all the guys that go pro, and he's there when they get drafted, and how many of them are on the All-Star team. He just really gets a big kick out of that. But now with the NIL and stuff, everybody else is getting all these star athletes. I don't know how many he's got this year. I mean, that Dillingham can light it up, but other than Shepard's all right. But other than that,
they're loaded, Mike. They just don't play a lick. This was the real eye-opener watching Saturday night. Like, they don't play a lick of defense. And they're not going to go far because they don't play any defense at all. Like, if Vanderbilt doesn't score on them a lot of points, I'm not saying they're going to win because I don't think they will. But if they don't score, if they don't have a healthy scoring, if they're not in the 70s on this Kentucky team, Mike, they should be ashamed of themselves because they don't guard anybody.
Well, I hope they do it again tonight. Anchor down.
All right.
Have a good one.
You too. Yeah, Mike's right. I mean, he's the fan base. Again, I can't speak for them all. It's a large fan base, but there is a lot of them that are just over Cal. Because I mean, if you think about it, when's the last time it's not for lack of talent. They're always talented, but they haven't made a run.
Can't make the tourney run.
I mean, they don't make any runs. When's the last time they made a run? Was it the year they were undefeated and lost to Wisconsin in the Final Four? That's a long time ago. Like 9 years ago.
Yeah. I was going to say, was that 10? Yeah, 9 years.
I was reading earlier this week where Kentucky has about 10 or 15 guys who are still in college that came in as 5 stars, but they're at other schools, and they're still playing and like no impact. They're just out there, like some of the star players. I'm like, so did they develop them? Or they just came in and thought they were going to start automatically and just left?
Well, in fairness to him, I don't know how much developing he can do because most of them the good ones are all one and dones, but still you can if you want to win with them, you better teach them to play defense.
Right.
Or at least attempt it. And they don't. It's pathetic. And when Tennessee walked into Rupp Arena and hung 103 spot on them, I'd seen all I need to see. Like, yeah, and South Carolina had their way with them. Florida had their way with them. What Florida score? 90-something?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not kidding. If Vanderbilt doesn't get in the 70s tonight, they should be ashamed of themselves. Seriously. Like, who can't hang 70-something on this Kentucky team?
Who's focused on offense?
All right, we'll take a break. More of the McFarland Show next.
When was the last time you did something fun with family, friends, coworkers, and clients? What if I told you about a place under one roof that offers affordable entertainment for all ages? That's what you'll find at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers in Donaldson, Hermitage, Tusculum, Hendersonville, and Murfreesboro with bowling, games, food, drink, and entertainment for all ages. Enjoy an enhanced experience in Hendersonville or Murfreesboro where they feature additional fun with bumper cars, laser tag, roller skating, and more. All locations are open 7 days a week, including holidays. Visit online at strikeandspare.com. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
Attention business owners. WNSR has some exciting opportunities for your business to thrive in the dynamic world of sports radio advertising. As the proud home of some of your favorite sports teams like the Atlanta Braves, Memphis Grizzlies, and more, we understand the power of sports in bringing people together and creating a passionate community. We believe that your business can become an integral part of this experience, reaching a diverse and engaged audience. Contact the WNSR sales team for an opportunity to discuss how Nashville's sports radio can elevate your brand to new heights. Whether you're interested in a specific sponsorship package or would like a customized solution, we are here to meet your advertising needs. Call 615-844-1039, 615-844-1039, or email saleswnsr@gmail.com. That's saleswnsr@gmail.com.
Gas, groceries, utilities, you name it, the price of everything is going up. And if you're stuck in a bad timeshare with rising maintenance fees, the financial burden can be crushing. It is time to get your finances in order and get the real facts about that timeshare that you are stuck in and your options to get rid of it. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has been helping families out of horrible timeshares for over 10 years and has put together a complete timeshare exit information kit that he will send you absolutely free. To date, over 30,000 families have trusted Wesley Financial Group to help them out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. Get the facts about how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation. Simply call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit and see how you can become timeshare free. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. Once again, 800-462-3333.
And now, Keep It Clean Tree Service is reminding Americans to show support to the brave men and women who serve in our U.S. military. Please visit USO.org and locate Military Care Package to see how you could make a difference today. This message is brought to you by Keep It Clean Tree Service. For tree trimming, tree removal, stump removal, grinding, and site management, beautify your property with Keep It Clean Tree Service. Give the pros a call today at 615-480-0029, 615-480-0029, or visit KeepItCleanSolutions.com. That's Keep It Clean Tree Service, proudly saluting our troops and veterans. They're professionals who care.
It's a Bill King Show.
This Nick Saban topic is so interesting. I was thinking about the future. The new teams that the SEC and the B1G are bringing in and the Big 12. The 12-team playoff. The lawlessness. The constant change. But now we enter the next playing portion without Nick Saban.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.9 FM.
Text the Strike and Spare studio now at 615-844-5600. You're listening to The McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Having fun on this Tuesday. Yesterday, the commissioner spoke, Roger Goodell. That was one of the folks who spoke, and that's always his big to-do. Remember, we told you last week that it was a invite-only event.
Yes,
which
very
that
special.
was not the case when I used to cover the Super Bowls. It was a huge, as you can imagine, throng of media, but this one was invite only. Do we have anything from that, or did you want to hit on?
No. Well, this is still developing here. This
gotcha.
is not ready yet. Maybe in our final break, maybe I'll have something. But the mayor of that's a separate story. Excuse me, Roger Goodell. Roger Goodell was speaking about why Las Vegas. Damon, if we can pull up the Las Vegas Roger Goodell sound, if we can get that, sir. Of course,
got the relocation.
Las Vegas, Nevada. Is hosting the Super Bowl for the first time ever. This, as Darren knows, and a lot of you knows, would have been unthinkable a few years ago. Like a total, complete joke that this would have happened a few years ago. But it is real. It is happening here. They're moving out there, and they're going to play this week. Now, what I want us to listen to here in Nashville is the reasons why, even though the Titans are building this brand new $2.2 billion dome stadium, why can't we get the Super Bowl in the first year? That is something that Mark Davis, the owner of the Raiders, asked about. He wanted the Super Bowl his first year in Vegas. This is what Roger Goodell told him.
He got the relocation approval. That was one of the first things he started talking about is, well, when are we going to get a Super Bowl? And I said, Mark, we got to play a regular season game here first. But it's this stadium is extraordinary. You all were here. We can feel it. I think they've done an amazing job with that stadium, and that's our stage. So for us, the stadium is key. The city is key. this city really knows how to put on big events, and we've seen that. We feel it. We felt it all year from our fans. It is the number one place for visiting team fans to come to a game.
All right, so there is Roger Goodell talking about Las Vegas, Nevada. And I found it interesting, Darren, that he would say that is the number one place for visiting team fans to come see a game, which means the NFL is keeping up with such things.
Sure.
The fact that they would know that Vegas is the number one city, which, of course, we know the NFL does not release a whole lot about how it tracks fans and in what market this does well and that does well. They don't do that a whole lot. They don't tell us that kind of information, but they're releasing that part of it. I would imagine Nashville is very high on that list. What I want to emphasize is this. They've got to play a full season or at least two in the Dome Stadium first before the NFL will move a Super Bowl into the building. It doesn't mean that the building will have to be done. It just means that it has to be well underway before the NFL will make that solid announcement that the Super Bowl will be there. And the NFL can come and say exactly what Roger Goodell said about the stadium in Las Vegas, that it's a wonderful facility and a beautiful stadium and does blah, 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 blah. They gotta see it in action first before they put the biggest sporting event in the world in your yard. It's gonna happen. It just may not happen as soon as we might think. And so all those things that Roger Goodell just said about Las Vegas is what he is going to say about Nashville at some point.
Right. That's the point of this. Just say, hey, don't expect it year one.
No.
It's not going to be 2027.
No.
But it could be 2028.
It could be 2028, 2029, no later than 2030, I would think. So before the end of the decade,
yeah,
I think the Super Bowl is going to be here in Nashville. It's just a matter of when.
All right, we'll also have another piece of interesting news to close things out. You'll want to hear this on the other side. You listen to the McFarland Show, WNSR.
With 13 locations nationally, including Smyrna, Star Leasing Company is a semi-trailer one-stop shop and the perfect place to build a career as a semi-trailer mechanic. Seeking candidates with all levels of experience, Star Leasing Company has a semi-trailer technician trainee program with sign-on and quarterly bonuses and other opportunities such as $1,000 for having a yearly physical. The package also includes 401k with company match, health, dental, and vision insurance, competitive pay with weekly paychecks, and paid holidays and time off. Star Leasing Company, not your typical semi-trailer leasing company. It's starleasing.com to learn more.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Rizumkizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas?
Check
with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back just for buying the gas I was going to buy anyway.
But is it a hassle to use?
No, it's super fast and easy, and I can cash out
3,
whenever I want.
2,
That's a
and
total
1.
no-brainer.
Buyandtow.com. Get cash for junk cars. You have a vehicle that's become a problem? You can get cash in your hand today, and your vehicle hauled away. Just call 615-480-6473 or visit buyandtow.com. They buy any vehicle, any make, any model, any condition. Give them a call, 615-480-6473, or visit them, buyandtow.com. They'll buy your vehicle no matter the condition, in your driveway at your mechanic shop, or even on the side of the road. You can call them at 615-480-6473 or visit buyandtow.com. Get cash in your hand today and your vehicle hauled away. 615-480-6473, buyandtow.com. That's buyandtow.com.
It's a skill anyone can learn in minutes. Visit heart.org/hands-only-CPR and become a lifesaver today.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
3, 2, and 1. Buyandtow.com. Get cash for junk cars. Do you have a vehicle that's become a problem? You can get cash in your hand today. Your vehicle gets hauled away. Just call 615-480-6473 or visit buyandtow.com. They buy any vehicle, any make, any model, any condition. Give them a call, 615-480-6473 or visit buyandtow.com. They'll buy your vehicle no matter the condition, in your driveway, at your mechanic shop, or even on the side of the road. Give them a call, 615-480-6473, or visit buyandtow.com. Get cash in your hand today and your vehicle hauled away. Again, that phone number, 615-480-6473, buyandtow.com. That's buyandtow.com. All right, we're going to end on this note. Pretty interesting. We'll maybe have the audio. We'll play tomorrow. Up against it a little bit. So this is out of Vegas, right?
Yeah, the Las Vegas mayor, Carol Goodman, was recently on a podcast called Front Office Sports Today. A podcast just released a short time ago. She says that the Oakland A's, who are scheduled to move to Las Vegas to have a big brand new stadium down there, she is telling them that the deal, and by the way, they would move to the old Tropicana Hotel is where they would move. The old Tropicana Hotel site is where they would go. That to her, the deal doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And that the A's should look at staying in Oakland. And that she's not sure that the money to actually make this move happen is really there, is what she says. Now, this is the mayor of Las Vegas making this proclamation on this podcast. Now, I'm not sure how much the city of Las Vegas was involved in this deal, if this was a private land acquisition, so they may not need the city's permission at all. The city may not be involved in this. But for the mayor of the city to stand up here and say, yeah, I don't know if Major League Baseball need to be moving over there because that don't make a whole lot of sense to me, would suggest that there are some problems with this particular deal. And why is this important here in Nashville? Well, I'll tell you why. Because Rob Manfred, who is the commissioner of Major League Baseball, has made it crystal clear that expansion for the Major League Baseball will not be opening up until the deals in Oakland and the deals in Tampa are wrapped up. Once the deals for new stadiums for the A's and for the Rays are finished, that's when they can turn the page to expansion. And it sounds like one of those deals, according to the mayor of Las Vegas again, sounds like it's still up in the air. It sounds like it is not sealed.
I thought it was done.
I thought it was done too. But apparently not.
That's so weird.
Now, we've run into done deals. And listen, I've been doing this a long time. I've run into done deals before. I've been to announcements of things that never happened. So, I mean, it's feasible. That's why sometimes you have to see who's at this press conference exactly. Who's up here saying this? That's why sourcing is so important. I don't know because I'm not in Vegas or Oakland. But I thought this deal was done too. Apparently not. So this is going to start making the rounds. It's just broken the last hour.
All right, that's going to do it for us today. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Bill Keene will get things started tomorrow at 6 a.m., followed by Greg and John from 9 to 11, and we'll be back at it tomorrow too. We'll see you then.
On air and online, Sports Radio WNSR, Brentwood, Nashville.
TBS Sports Radio. This is the Zach Gelb Show.
Here's your host, Zach Gelb.
All right, away we go. Hour number 3 of our radio program. That's right. It is the Zach Gelb Show, coast to coast on CBS Sports Radio, live inside the Mandalay Bay Convention Center. Fun show so far. Sean Merriman joined us. Will Levis, Trevor Lawrence, Robbie Gould still to come. We'll be joined by Patriot wide receiver Kendrick Bourne, and that will come your way 40 minutes from now. There's been crazy audio, obviously, the last 2 days, and it only gets dumber with opening night, and everyone's trying to put out this dog and pony show and make it a circus at Allegiant Stadium. And I can't say that without acknowledging that we were a part of that as well, but that's just what happens on opening night. I think it's the one media event that the NFL puts on where everyone knows there's no control and you get a bunch of stupid questions. But throughout the week, the storylines just kind of get tedious. They kind of get dull. It's like, okay, just get me to kickoff. Just get me to the game. That's why I like being here at Radio Row. It works. You get all these different people that join you on set. You maybe talk about their team and what they did this year, like we did earlier with Will Levis, like we did earlier with Trevor Lawrence as well. And you kind of get a good lay of the land of the other 30 teams, even though there's only 2 teams that are playing on Sunday between the Kansas City Chiefs and the 49ers. And yeah, obviously we talk a ton about the Chiefs this week. We talk a ton about the 49ers. But when you move away from all the fun and all the inane and all the innocuous questions that get asked last night, you do have people that attend opening night and they ask their serious football questions. And, football the last 20 years, it was dominated by the Patriots. And the Patriots, when they won their first Super Bowl 36, especially with everything that happened in this country, it was a feel-good story. And then when they won Super Bowl 38, I don't think anyone hated the Patriots. And then once it became, not even the 3 and 4 years, but it was really more so the Spygate investigation and that 07 Patriot team where it was the us against the world mentality. And I'm not naive. I'm not dumb. When you are a dynasty, people hate you. And usually the hatred is just rooted in jealousy. It's because people want to be you. People want to be the team that not only wins a Super Bowl, but multiple Super Bowls and just keeps on getting there. And when you win at this really high rate and you do so multiple times, you get confidence. You embrace and try to, I don't want to even say make up storylines. Sometimes it's contrived, but you try to lay into we're getting doubted. We're the hated team. Because at your best what you're capable of, and as a competitor, you have to try to create some sort of doubt, and then there's like little things that teams will turn into big things. So I guess Kansas City is now playing this villain role, and that they're the new hated team and everyone's gunning after them. And I do think there's a difference in the team that everyone's hunting and the team that's trying to take down, and then being the team that everyone's trying to hunt and take down, and then also being the team that's hatred. So I didn't even think about this until last night, but here is Chris Jones at the podium on opening night on Monday, and he talked about now the Chiefs being that villain team and the Chiefs being a team that is now hated and has some disdain to them.
Absolutely. For some reason, everybody used to love us. We used to be one of the most favorite teams. Now everybody is like, we're ready for the Chiefs to lose. I don't know what changed or what dramatic incidents happened to where everybody felt like we should lose now, but it's okay. They can continue hating.
I don't think the Chiefs are hated. I think the only time the Chiefs were a hated team, and they were a team where people were like, enough of these guys, stop being a bunch of babies and stop being a bunch of sore losers, was earlier this year in the regular season when they lost the game to Buffalo and Kadarius Toney was lined up offside. And then after the game, Patrick Mahomes was complaining, and he was saying, we want the officials to decide the game, and we want the players to decide the game. We don't want the officials to decide the game. And Andy Reid, who's a very likable coach as well, right? Big teddy bear, eats the cheeseburgers and all that stuff. Even he was complaining after that game. That was the only time that I found the Kansas City Chiefs to be a team that you could dislike or a team that you could hate. I know that they have to kind of rile up some extra energy, and they have to kind of make it as they're the team that everyone hates. And it's easy now to kind of spin that conversation because you have so many people that just hate to hate on social media. But if we actually determined haters by people that just send you negative tweets on social media, well, then everyone has haters. And everyone is the team that is being hated. But I think if we put out a poll question, do you hate the Kansas City Chiefs? Unless you are a Chargers fan or a Broncos fan or a Raiders fan inside the AFC West, I don't think this Kansas City Chiefs team is hateable. Like, the only reason you would hate Patrick Mahomes is because of his brother. You know, I know people don't like his wife, and we know what his father has done now 3 times, which is absolutely disgraceful. But Patrick Mahomes is one of the more likable superstars ever. Him individually, when you take away his family, you don't have any reason to hate Patrick Mahomes. You know, why would people hate Andy Reid? Why would people hate Travis Kelce? Like, if you are someone that goes, I hate Travis Kelce because of Taylor Swift, why? And I'm going through these storylines. Okay, yeah, Kadarius Toney is insufferable, but he's kind of irrelevant. Outside of that, this Chiefs team is fun. This Chiefs team is likable. And I don't think that they resemble some, and they're not a dynasty yet because you have to win 3, but a team that had the makings of a dynasty. And I say this as a Patriot fan. People didn't like the Patriots because of Bill. People didn't like the Patriots because of some of the things that they were accused of. And, you know, Tom Brady was the golden boy, and he won all these Super Bowls. And they rubbed it in your face. And that was fine. I loved it, right? And they played into it. And people doubted them. Heck, there was a 10-year stretch where they didn't win a Super Bowl. But, Santa, I don't find Kansas City, I know you're a Fugazi Chiefs fan after being a Jet fan for 40 years?
Yeah, 40 some. No. I didn't start liking the Jets
35?
until. Yeah, no, until like the late 80s, early. I started liking the Jets when the Giants were good.
Okay.
So I wanted to like the team that sucked.
But objectively,
yeah,
you know, we'll let people in on the shtick. Samter claims to be a Chiefs fan. I don't really buy that. He's still a Jet fan down deep. Down in your roots, you're a Jet fan, whether you want to admit it or not. But this Kansas City team, what's the valid reason to hate them? Like, why would you hate this Kansas City team?
I think there's a lot of hate. I mean, listen, people, like
Outside
you said,
they just win.
Yeah, people hate. Same reason why it's hard to hate Tom Brady, but people hated him because he was always winning. And so I think people hate teams that are just constantly winning. But I think this Taylor Swift thing really put a new wrinkle into it. Because it's not that people
just trolls and dopes on social media. Like, I don't think that's a true reflection of society.
I mean, I
She's
think
on
it's
for less than a minute every game.
I think it's a true reflection of society because it's not just sports fans now. It's people who love Taylor and people who don't like Taylor. You're getting politics into it now, right? Because now you have the political side of it. You know, Taylor leans one way and then other people on the other. So there's a political side of it. There's the music side of it.
It's only two. I can't do politics on a Tuesday. I can't.
I'm just saying that this is hitting every facet of America. This is a better microcosm of our country than a normal year of just Tom Brady versus, you know, Aaron Rodgers. This is everybody's interested. Whether it's pop music or politics or sports, everybody's interested. And I think that there's legitimately a faction of people who don't like the Chiefs because of what's going on with Taylor Swift. Not that she's doing anything wrong or Travis Kelce's doing anything wrong, but her involvement in the way that it's being talked about is turning people off. So I think that there's that. I think there's the winning side of it.
How is it being talked about?
It's being talked about.
Okay.
The amount that it's being talked about.
So I know that you're not one of these Swiftie haters.
No.
Right? You would consider yourself more of a Swiftie than a non-Swiftie.
She's dating my tight end. I love her.
Yeah. Here's the thing. So let's just say your argument is correct. Let's say you're right. People hate the Chiefs now because of Taylor Swift. What does it say about those people? We are hating, or some people, I'm not, are hating on the Chiefs because a guy who's very successful and famous fell in love with someone who's even more successful and more famous, and they're not entitled to have a relationship. They're not allowed to have a relationship. He can't go to her concert. She can't go